Yeah, today we will discuss about what is QA roles and responsibilities in a project. So it may be as we are going to be a automation engineer, we are going to discuss about automation engineer responsibilities. So we are not considering for us or in our project there is a manual test engineer also. So we are going to write a feature files, we are going to do everything end to end. So that would add some advantage to us if we are considering there is no manual QA. Okay, so uh, so how to answer when someone asks you what is your roles and responsibilities in your project. Okay, so roles and responsibilities in current project, and we are going to say we are following agile process. That is at any cost we are going to say that only, because we discussed it almost like from many times about agile process. So up to 5 years experience, what roles and responsibilities will be there, and 5 plus in automation, what kind of roles and responsibilities will be there, and what are the uh, like there are more to got added if you are having 5 plus experience in automation. So up to 5 years experience, first point would be analyzing user requirements, or we can say these are analyzing, yeah, user stories or user requirements. Okay, so analyzing requirements, participate in estimating stories. Here, as we discussed estimation stories, we are going to consider while giving the estimation. Complexity is the one parameter, complexity of the application and complexity of the requirements which we are having in the current sprint. Complexity and maybe number of steps in feature file, number of steps in a scenario, or like number of features. Okay, it depends on the project and depends on the particular sprint that we need to consider while giving estimations. So these are the parameter which we give for estimations. And estimations also we are going to give in a as a story points. Okay, this also you need to understand. Estimations, how do we give estimations? As a story points we provide estimations. The story points for 8 hours, most of the projects, it's project to project, it varies. Okay, according to them how they wanted, but we should be very clear what we are going to say. Okay, don't get confused what to say, what is what he will think. Story point means 8 hours, is it fixed one, is it not fixed one? Don't think about any other stuff, just mention that in our organization we are having, for each story point we are considering for 8 hours work, there will be one story point will be given as a estimations. In terms of story points we estimate, and for each 8 hours there will be one story point. Suppose my requirement takes to complete testing or to write a feature file. Suppose there is a one user story that is a writing feature file. Suppose writing feature files, it take for me 16 hours or 12 hours. So I will give 2 story points. So in this way we need to give the estimations in terms of story points. These story points and these requirements, okay, and your tasks are, all of them are tracked in Jira tool that we are going to discuss in next session. Okay, Jira tool, there will be one Jira tool where we can give all these our tasks for the current sprint. For every sprint we can add what is your tasks that will be taken care by the Scrum Master. Okay, we don't need to worry. Okay, whatever we ask them, whatever we ask him, okay, I want this story, I want this user story. User story is writing feature file for the specific requirement. Okay, writing automation scripts for the particular requirement. Okay, execution or regression for the particular module or whatever. Okay, in this way we are going to give from QA side user stories. So for that story points also we give. Okay, so second one is participating in estimating user stories, or we can say requirements. Okay, it will be same. So and building test cases. Okay, and you can add here one more point if you want. You can add writing feature files. Writing all these. Okay, we are going to tell in a sequenced way also. Okay, whenever someone is going to ask you, obviously the first question will be, okay, explain about yourself and what is your roles and responsibilities in your current project. That will be the first question which you, if you go for any of the interview, the first question would be like this only: introduce yourself and tell me your roles and responsibilities in your current project. If they don't ask also about your roles and responsibilities, we are going to say my roles and responsibilities in current project is, these are the my roles and responsibilities. Because when you are introducing yourself, at least you should take 3-4 minutes, as you are working from 3 years 4 years. I suppose someone asks you, okay, tell me about yourself. Okay, my name is this, and I am working in this company and I am working in this project. Is it a right way to project yourself? Whenever they ask you introduce yourself, as a interviewer, I expect your current project, what is your activities. Okay, I want to know, I know your name already. Okay, you may tell like how much experience you have, that I wanted to know. Obviously you need to say, okay, Selenium I have this much experience, and API automation testing this much experience. If you have something else, you can say. After that you need to come to this place only. Okay, then only the interviewer will come to know, okay, this guy is having these skills, and these are the responsibilities which he has. Then as a interviewer, I will assume myself in the background. Okay, how is my project, and whether this skills whatever he is doing it, is it matching with my project or not. Obviously if it is a agile process, all of them is going to do these 7 to 8 activities only. If he is a 10 years experience, if he is at 15 years experience also, it will be the tasks for all of them. The uh, points will be these only. Okay, so writing feature file also you can add, and building test cases means as a we are automation engineer, we are going to write a test cases. So okay, here in the third point, building features files. Okay, by considering we need to write this also, by considering acceptance criteria, by referring acceptance criteria. Because you need to know, okay, what is the expected output, what is the expected functionality which is getting developed by the developers, that we are referring. And I am going to write a feature files. In that way we are saying I am writing a feature files by going through or referring acceptance criteria, by referring acceptance criterias for the current sprint user stories. Okay, you are going to write on based on what? There will be criteria, acceptance criteria, which is given by this acceptance criteria gives by product owner. So this is the my output. My product should behave like this. Whenever I do forget password, it should navigate to this page and it should ask this information to provide to change the password for the client or user. So he decides, okay, how the product should be. So this one is a third point, writing feature files, building test cases, automation, building automation scripts. We can say building automation scenarios or scripts, automation scripts. This is the automation related task which you are saying. Okay, now automate regression testing. Sorry, executing regression test cases, or you can say, okay, executing test cases or test script whenever client needed. Okay, executing regression test cases, just you can change however you wanted. Okay, just I mentioned this. It's you can think what you want to tell. Then collaborate with customers and developers. Okay, how you are going to collaborate? There will be some meetings happens between the developers and customers. Those meetings are, suppose as you are QA, there will be defects in the application. For every sprint, when you are testing, you may find some defects. You need to discuss with the developer sometimes. In that time, okay, the calls will happen between the tester and developers. So that is called defect triage calls. And functional calls. The functional calls in the sense when you wanted to understand some functionality by going through the document, you are not able to understand. Okay, by going through the acceptance criteria or whatever document you have by our requirements or user stories, you are not understanding it, then you need to interact with the developer directly. So that is the functional application functionality. To understand application functionality, we may involve with the involve in some meetings. Okay, that one is, we can say we are collaborating with the, I am collaborating. Okay, I collaborate with the customers and developers. You can say developers, customers in the sense that also happens, but okay, we'll see that. Okay, after that, submitting testing artifacts. What does mean by this testing artifacts? I am going to explain more about this anyway. Okay, submitting testing artifacts. What does mean by testing artifacts? Okay, you are saying you are writing feature files. You are saying you are developing automation scripts and you are executing all of them. Okay, but end of the sprint, you have done everything and you are having all those things. You have completed your complete work for the current sprint and you have everything. But how other team members or whoever are there in the project, how they will come to know? You need to submit few documents. These are reference. As you are saying, one requirement is working as per the expectations. Then what is the proof? You are saying that this is working. There should be some proof. You should have result. means results of the execution report, and you should have the requirement details. Then only everyone can understand. Okay, and under which requirement this user story or scenario is. Whatever you are saying, these are the 4 scenarios I executed and I am submitting the results. Under which user story? So you need to have results. You need to have requirement traceability matrix. Traceability. For every sprint, there are some requirements and you are automating it. But where you are tracking, which is automated and which is not automated, and you have some, because of some blockers, you are not able to automate few things. Somewhere it should be tracked and everyone should be able to understand it. When they see some artifacts, okay, related to for each sprint, they should know everything. Okay, no one will come and ask you daily, okay, how much is done and how much is left. These, nothing will happen in agile process. Uh, this will not happen. Okay, so we need to be very transparent and we need to be very, we can say, active. Okay, to do your tasks. That too you should do in a proper way. Okay, everyone should understand and everyone uh, should be able to track your task, whatever you are doing, in a very easier manner. So that's why at the end of the sprint you are going to provide some documents. And where you provide, do we send a mails? No, we don't send a mails. We upload all these in, again, Jira. Here coming picture, Jira coming into the picture. Here also Jira came into picture, where this user stories, okay, giving estimations. So you can understand, okay, there is a Jira tool which is we need to learn. Okay, so this, for every user story, okay, or a particular sprint, I am going to attach these results. Okay, the next one, participating release. Participation release and readiness demos. Yes.
Can you explain 7 point once again, please?
7th point. Okay, submitting testing artifacts. Okay, you have completed your testing for the current sprint, whatever, maybe manual testing or maybe through automation you are able to complete finally everything. Okay, somewhere you should have those results, right?
Yes, correct.
Those results need to be updated in the Jira. You can upload the results in the Jira tool for every sprint as a QA. Okay, under your tasks, there will be a sections which you can upload something and which you can give the comment something. Everything you can do in the Jira. So there you need to attach these traceability matrix and results as well.
So it is a
Execution
document
results.
of
It may be,
Word.
if, yeah.
It's a Word document, right?
No, how it is Word document? If you are executing automation results, you should provide automation execution results there.
Okay.
It should be, suppose you are automating it, right? You should provide automation results. If it is a Excel sheet, suppose if it is failing also, I can do pass. Okay, not I am not saying like that, but few people, if like very hectic work and it's very difficult to do something, okay, they may do sometimes. Okay, if it is failing also, they can make it pass in Excel sheet and our Word document and they can upload. But it should be transparent. That means you should upload the execution results which is getting generated in the automation project, which
Okay.
is a Cucumber reports. Just you can
Okay.
take a screenshot and you can upload there. Means these many are the scenarios, these many are passed, these many are failed. There will be a graph which it shows.
Okay.
When everything is passing, you can upload that by taking screenshot, or if you are able to upload in a zip file everything, doing a zip of complete results, and you can upload if it is a availability there.
Okay.
but should be transparent, and no one should ask the like this, like it is you have mentioned as a pass, but it is failing now. Then you should have some proper documentation to show them. The proper documentation is for you is results, that to execution with automation results.
Okay, fine.
Suppose I am in sprint 6. Okay, in sprint 2 something was failing now. Okay, in the sprint 6 some code changes done, but some requirement which is developed in sprint 2 something is failing right now. Okay, so you have some proof that time it is passing, now it is failing, in the sense there will be some code changes issue, that is this functionality is affecting that functionality. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that is called testing artifacts. And participating release and readiness demos. What does mean by this? Okay, release and readiness means you are the project is will go into live, organization to organization and project to project it will vary. Few places it goes into live for every 6 months. Few places it may go to every quarter, 3 months or 4 months. So when it is going into live, okay, as a QA you have some responsibility, because you completed testing, may not be you. Okay, there are team members, suppose there are 2 or members, 3 members, all of them, okay, you tested and you completed. Okay, there will be one meeting happens. Okay, that meetings go or no go meeting. In this meeting, okay, this is happens for release time only. Okay, when application is going to release, going to get release or going to live, that time, okay, there will be release and readiness meetings happens. In this case, I am going to attend, I am going to project like, okay, these many of the requirements are completed for this, how many hours sprint were done, okay, for this release means, suppose let's consider 6 sprints were 6 sprints functionality is going into live, suppose functionality going into live. Here also again you should have, okay, again you should have results for all the test cases which you automated. You should have results for all the scenarios in one place. And bugs, any open bugs right now in the application, open bugs, you should have this also documented. Okay, let's consider first traceability matrix. Requirement traceability matrix will be the first one which should have into hand for these meetings. Results, any bugs, if any bugs are there, this go no go meeting, the output will come as a, this will not go live in this right now. We may need to postpone for the next 1 week or 10 days until this open bugs should be fixed. Okay, this will take this decisions will take higher management when in these meetings. Okay, that's why these meetings happens. Okay, now any doubts in this roles and responsibilities? We are going to say these points only. These points come to the picture if he goes inside particular point. When you are saying my roles and responsibilities, If he goes inside, then we need to explain. If he asks some question inside it, then we need to explain. Okay, about testing artifacts, I will give you one URL. You might need to go what all the testing artifacts and what does it contains and how it is. Okay, just I given here overview, but there are some more information which we can discuss about testing artifacts at least half an hour. Okay, now any doubts for all of you? You are going to say, if I take interview or tomorrow or day after tomorrow also, when I ask your your roles and responsibilities, you need to tell these roles and responsibilities. You can by heart if you want these roles and responsibility, because these are common for any automation engineer. These are generic. If it is if we are following agile process in the project, these blindly you can say these are my roles and responsibilities for automation engineer. I hope for everyone clear it is everything. Okay, yeah, if no doubts, yeah, we can go next one then. Okay, for 5 to 10 years experience automation, if you are having 5+, or if you are projecting my experience is 5+, then there should be, okay, there should be more 2 points which we should add these. Okay, code review using some tool. We need to say I do code review for my for team members who are there in a project. Then you will get some additional advantage. I am not saying that we should, if you don't know also we should tell this. Okay, there will be for every skill which you have, you will get some additional advantage than other candidates. That's why we should be ahead of others in terms of tools which will be used in testing or in the market. Okay, now testing plan with testing with the testing strategies. Okay, there will be creating test strategy document. Means in the test strategy document will be there plans and which tool need to be taken for the automation, or which framework need to be taken, and who all our resources are going to work, and like this kind of document it is testing strategy document. That I am, suppose if I attend, I am going to add these 2 points as I have a 8 to 9 years experience, because I get some additional advantage. He may ask, he may not ask about the internal questions inside it, but I will get some advantage because I know at least what is testing strategy document creation, how to create it, and what is a code review, and how SonarQube there will be one small tool which I can run my code and I can see what are the issues in the code, any duplication, any loops are not proper, or if conditions are not proper, any these kind of stuff we can do with these SonarQube tool. Now there is a additional information is there about testing artifacts in this link. You might need to go through this because this is mandatory, which we need to explain in our roles and responsibility. Okay, this is very important. Okay, these two are important at any cost. This is also important. All of them are important actually. As if you are going to say agile process I worked, then you should have all these 8 points. Otherwise you have not worked in the agile process. Okay, now yeah, testing artifacts. Let's go testing artifacts. What all testing artifacts will be there? See, what does mean by testing artifacts first? Test artifacts are deliverables or documents which are prepared during the testing process. Okay, what does mean by testing artifacts is documents which are prepared while you are doing testing. These documents are shared with the different stakeholders like clients, test managers, team members, and other people involved in the project. Now you can understand one thing. Okay, with the Cucumber framework, without Cucumber framework, if it is a Cucumber framework, these all the people can understand your results, because you are sharing results or documents or testing artifacts. Everyone can understand, because if it is a Cucumber framework and if it is a used Gherkin language, as obviously in a Cucumber framework we use a Gherkin for uh, writing a feature files. So everyone can understand, even who doesn't know what is mean by automation, he can understand which scenario is passed and which scenario is failing, because it is a simple English plain text, and if it is a pass, it will show green color. If it is fail, if it will show red color. In this particular step your functionality is not working. Okay, so need of testing artifacts. Okay, why we need also we discussed. Okay, there is a, you completed 5 sprints and you are in 6th sprint and something is failing at some other sprint. Where is the proof that you tested on that particular sprint on that functionality? I cannot trust you on just by words. I completed this testing and it is everything is done, and you change the status as a in progress to done. I cannot assure, I cannot believe people. Leave about me, leave about your man, leave about your team lead, leave about manager. What about higher management? They don't know about you even like anything. Okay, whether you are a like how, even customers, they wanted to see stakeholders who is paying money for your automation, they wanted to see what is happening. Then what is the way of projection your automation results? Okay, obviously testing artifacts. So very important, testing artifacts. Okay, okay, now any doubts in that till here? If you want to know testing artifacts, these are the different testing artifacts which we need to submit. Okay, these two will take care by the leads or managers, these two. Okay, don't say I am going to submit if you are having below 2 years below 5 years experience in automation. Okay, these are the things which you are going to submit as below 5 years experience. If you have below 5 years automation. Done? Any queries? Gopal or Pardasadi, who are daily attending interviews and who are saying your roles and responsibilities in the current project. Are you explaining all this and how you are explaining right now? Can you tell me, Gopal, what you are saying? Suppose if they ask roles and responsibilities right now.
I'm telling about all the project details. This what I did in my current project. Let's say I have completed BTech so and so. So from last I have around 4 years of experience in QA profile as a manual and automation test engineer. And in manual, whatever I do, miss related to the miss. Can I explain now?
Yeah, yeah. Tell me. I will see. Just I wanted to see. Yeah, you can explain. No problem. In 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, just I can modify if I can give some inputs. Okay, that's,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah. You can start. I will see.
Okay. Fine. Uh, Uh, I have around 4 years of experience in QA profile in terms of manual and automation. 2 years in manual and 2 years in automation area. I work on a web application. I work on mobile application testing in manual area. And my current project, I work on the hospitality domain. One project I work on insurance domain. and one is a research domain. So my current project is come under the hospitality domain. It's related to the hotel domain. So as per the we have the requirement in the form of the user stories, and I'm involving in understanding or analyzing the user stories as per the requirement, and also we are involving in designing the test cases as per the user stories, executing the test cases and reporting the defects. We have the it's a bug tracking tool. We have a project management tool. It's a Mingle. Every activities we are tracking in the Mingle itself. For the developer and for the QA also, is adding the bugs, adding the screenshot, adding the videos. Also, I'm involving in performing the smoke and sanity testing. Once the build is came, we are involving in for smoke testing, and then we are involving in performing the functionality testing by using the positive and negative test data, and whatever
Okay.
the defect
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
in
okay,
comes to
fine.
the this manual and come to the automation is separate. It will take again 5 minutes.
Okay, okay, Gopal. Okay, but you are not using any terminology which is related to agile process. Please try in the next project, next
Okay.
interview, telling like this.
But sir, what will happen? There, suppose I'm telling some submitting testing artifacts. Okay,
Mhm.
and he's countering the question. Okay, and he's somewhat analyzing where you really worked on that or not, because he's asking some googly type of question and all, and trying to understand where he is really work or not. So that we need to take care about the while attending the interviews,
Yes, you need to
because
go inside depth and you will get lot
yes,
of
yes,
help also. Okay, these are I
yes.
given maybe brief for 5 to 10 minutes about each point, but the way you need to explain is if you are saying agile process, the way you are saying, okay,
Okay,
that is you are not using any agile process terminology.
okay,
Okay, that is not the right way, I mean to say. Yeah, if you are saying agile, you are following and you are not using terminology in the sense, okay, it's not the right way to explain roles.
okay. So for these 8 points is enough for the for showing for manual and automation
Yes,
profile. Okay.
yes. You are saying all the points are here, but see the way here, like the description how it is.
Okay. Fine.
Okay, okay. So read about today. I want to see some difference in the next interview which I am going to take in this weekend about
Okay.
testing artifacts more this URL. It may take half an hour, but you will get a lot of knowledge in this. Okay, fine. uh, yeah, as it is a agile process, you don't need now, we discussed already. Okay, let's go to framework. I created some document uh, which is again here. This is the my folder structure of the framework. Okay, so each of them, for each of the folder I given description below this. Below there is a description for each one, and as you have prepared already by throwing by seeing those videos which are discussed in the YouTube, you might need to add for each point what you wanted to tell in a 2 lines, 1 or 2 lines. If you want to add, if you don't want to add these, if you explain like this also, it is fine. Okay. Yeah, Nitin, you prepared the document, right? Can you explain for the people for taking 5 to 10 minutes?
Okay, Ari. Okay, shall I share my screen?
Yes, sure, sure. Any doubts in this, which whatever we discussed?
Please let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Is it visible, Ari?
Yeah.
Okay, so okay. Let me go to the paint. I will explain.
Yeah,
Hello.
fine. Yeah,
Okay. So the OOPS concept, right, teams? So what are the OOPS concepts are there in Java? Okay, let me explain one by one.
yeah, yeah. The concept is which we are discussing now is
OOPS
where
concept.
OOPS concepts are applied in Selenium framework or Selenium concepts. Okay, that we are going to discuss right now, which Nitin will explain now.
So in Java, there are four OOPS concepts are there. Okay. So let me. Okay. First is the inheritance. Okay. So next is polymorphism. Next is abstraction. And last one is encapsulation. Before understanding where we are implemented in framework, first we should know the what is inheritance. This concept is important. Okay. Suppose first I will go for the inheritance. So what is inheritance? Suppose we have a one parent class. Okay. So this is a some parent class and this is a child class. Okay. If you want to implement the parent class to child class, we are going for the inheritance concepts. Okay. So wait, let me show it to you like this. So this is a parent class and this is the child class. Okay. Suppose there are some methods would be there which is reusable, okay, for the other classes. In that case, we are going for the inheritance. So we will make it as a generic in the parent class. We will try to use the same method in the child class also. Okay. So in this one, we will use one keyword called as extend keyword in order to inherit the property from the parent class to child class. So we will use the extend keyword. Extends keyword. Okay, so this is a just an overview of the inheritance. Okay, so suppose if you comes to the Selenium point of view, right? So we have a base class, right? In this base class, we are going to initialize the WebDriver, and we will initialize the Chrome, Firefox, all those things, right? We will use all those things in the child class. So at that time, we will use the extend key. We will use the inheritance concept. Is it clear, right? Inheritance. If you go to the document which I prepared. Okay, so inheritance is allows the classes and the properties and methods from another classes using the extend keywords. Okay, the reason why we are using the inheritance means for the code reusability. So in order to avoid the duplicate code, so we are going for the inheritance concept. Okay, if you go to the example point of view, right? So we have a test classes, right? Test class and all the base classes such as home page, all the home page, customer page. We are going to extend to the base classes. So this is an inheritance. Is it clear, right? So anything doubts on this one?
Yeah, it is clear. I think. Yeah, no one have doubts. Maybe.
Okay. So next we'll go for the polymorphism. Okay. So polymorphism, as the word says, right? Poly is nothing but multiple forms. Okay. In polymorphism, there are two types are there. Okay. So these are the two types. One is method overloading and another is method overriding. Method overloading. And one more is method overriding. Okay, so first we'll go for the method overloading. Method overloading means, okay, let me take pen. Okay, I will explain in the notepad. Method overriding. Method overriding, suppose we have a class, okay? suppose a class A, something like that. Okay, so in this one we have a method. Okay, we can have a multiple method, right? So suppose public void uh, test1 is a method. Okay, so in this test1 we will write the logics, all those things. Suppose if I want to use the same method once again in the same class, so at that time the Java won't allow. Suppose if I try to create a same method, okay, inside the same class, Java it will throw an exception. Uh, it will throw an error, okay, so that the same name should not be used. So in this case, what we can do means we can do by adding the parameters. Okay, suppose int a. So this is possible. Okay, method overloading means a class having the same name with a different arguments is called as method overloading. Okay, so suppose if you use the test1, right? Here also we can use the test1, but the argument is different. Argument is nothing but the parameters. Okay, this is called as overloading. Then we'll come for the overriding. Overriding means it is also a similar kind of overriding. The thing is, it should be in the different class. Suppose I have a class A. Okay, so in this one class A having the one method called as a test or ABC. So I have created one more class B, which extend the class A. Here inheritance concept will come. Extends A, which is nothing but extends, as I said, right? Extends is nothing but we are calling the parent class objects. So in this one, when we try to create a method with the same name what was there in the parent class, at that time also it will show an exception. For example, I'm trying to create the same method. Okay, so at that time it will show an exception. In order to overcome this, we have to use the at the rate of override method. Okay, so this is just an overview of about the concept of overloading and overriding. Okay, this is overloading. Okay, so if it comes to the Selenium point of view, right? So where we can use the overloading and overriding. Suppose let me go to the paint box. Okay, once again. Okay, so we have a login functionality. Okay, suppose we have a login functionality called as username and password. This is username and this is password. Okay, we will write a method, right? Okay, so username we'll write a separate method, and password also we'll write a separate method. Okay, hello.
Yes, yeah, we are able to follow, Nitin.
Okay, sorry, can you come again?
We are following Nitin.
Okay, fine. So if you go to the notes, okay, fine. So suppose here you can write suppose if you take a login functionality, we will having a username and password, right? So we will create a separate method for the username, and we will create a separate method for the password. Okay, we will write as a public void password. Okay, within what should be the argument? It should be an integer or in string. Okay, sometimes what will happen means, so in Selenium or in some functionality, instead of password we will use the phone number. Okay, suppose let me go there. Suppose public class login functionality is there. This isn't class. Okay, so here public void, so username. So this is a one method for identifying the username, and I am having one more method called a public void password. Okay, so in this password, for the first one, we will put the argument as string pwd is nothing but password. Okay, in some cases, what will happen means instead of password, we can add it as a phone number also. That is also one way is there. Okay, public void. So here the password method is same in the same class. Okay, but I'm changing the parameter long pwd. So this is how we can going to use the overloading in the Selenium. So in the same class, we are having the same password, okay, same method, password, but the argument is different, okay. Instead of here, suppose if a user tries to, if user wants to use password in terms of strings, they can call this method, suppose, or if user wants password in terms of phone number, he can use this method. So this is how we can use the method overloading in Selenium. Next, we will come for the method overriding.
Yeah, any doubts in inheritance or in method overloading? Yeah, in method overloading, I want to explain one more thing in the Selenium existing functionality, which is find by method. Driver dot find by there is a we are having right.
Yes.
Find by accepts by dot export by dot id by dot class by dot name. That also it is method overloading. Okay, driver dot find by it is accepting multiple arguments. So method name is common, but arguments are changing. Still it is working because it is a method of overloading concept. Inbuilt Selenium they have implemented for that functionality method overloading concept.
So
Hope
here array,
everyone understood that.
yeah, here array. So what Interval was expecting is where we are implemented. We are not
Yeah, exactly.
where we are implemented the oops concept. So
Yeah, yeah.
we
Just
are
I wanted to add one more point for this. That's it.
yeah, we are utilizing the concept. Okay, so instead of saying utilizing, where we have used the
Yeah,
this
yeah. This is
concept.
correct example. This one also.
Okay, so okay, so method overriding. Okay, before, okay, I will go later. Method overriding. So instead of that, we have to know the abstraction class in order to understand the method overriding. Okay, I will come later on this one, later session. Okay, next we will go for the abstraction. Okay, is it clear, right? Polymorphism.
Yeah,
So we have a method overloading and method overriding.
yeah. Anyone having queries? You can ask here. Okay, I think everyone are clear.
Yes. So abstraction, okay. So here abstractions comes into the picture. Suppose if you don't know the functionality, okay. If you have a requirement, if you don't have an exact requirement, okay. At that case, we can go for an abstraction. Abstraction is a nothing but okay. Suppose if you go to the wait. So I will show you abstraction. Abstraction is a nothing but so let us create a class where there's a no method. Okay, public class abc. This is in class. Okay, suppose if you want to abstract is nothing but so for abstract we have to use the abstract keyword, abstract void abc. So in this one, this is a method. Okay, so in this one we are not going to implement any functions. Okay, just we are creating a method like this. Okay, so this is an abstract. In order to utilize this concept, so we will create a one more class, public class as a xyz. So we are going to implement in order to what are the methods was there, right, in the abstract class. In order to utilize these things, we have to use the keyword called as implement abc. once you write the implement keyword, right? So at that time, so it will show one message. We have to implement all the methods present in this ABC unimplemented methods. So here by default it will come as a like this. So in this one we are going to implement the functionality. So this is an abstraction. So abstraction, if you go to the document, so it is something clear, it is there. So in Selenium, okay, we will use the abstract class and the interface. Okay, so in the interface is a 100% of abstraction. Okay, while comes to abstract class, it can have an 50%, not 50%. It can have a abstract method as well as the non-abstract methods. Okay, so abstract methods, how we can do means, suppose we have a base class is this. Okay. Public class, base class is there. So in this base class, I'm write some methods, okay, which are abstract methods. Public abstract, for example, timeout. So here I'm going to write only the methods. I'm not writing the functionality. Public void get title. So these methods, okay. So if you know, right, the timeout, it will vary from the test cases, okay. So in this one, we are going to change the functionality based on the requirement. That is the one way. And if you want to say, we can use the Selenium WebDriver, okay. Selenium WebDriver is an interface. We will write, right, is equals to new Chrome driver. So everyone will use, right? So this method in order to call the Chrome driver or any browser. So here WebDriver is an interface. Okay. So if you go in details to the WebDriver, so it is an interface. So in this WebDriver, if you go to the WebDriver interface, there you can see the only the method. Okay. We can't see the body. So here, if you go to the Chrome driver, right? This Chrome driver implements the WebDriver. They return their own logic based on the requirement. Either it may be the Chrome driver or Firefox or IE. So they are implemented this WebDriver.
Yeah, do one thing, Nitin. On the above WebDriver driver, new Chrome driver, just above that, just write a one Chrome driver and write one or two methods, so that they will understand here. Okay, under Chrome driver, whatever methods are declared, that we are utilizing in the below. Okay.
Okay. For example, get title.
Yeah, in that way. Yeah.
Okay. These are the methods which was there in the WebDriver. Yeah.
Very good example is opening the URL. I think driver
get URL.
Yeah, get method. Okay, for Firefox, we don't need to give any system.set property like this, but
Yes.
for a Chrome, we need to give system.set properties. So that will be the one example. Yeah, different. Yeah, you can mention it.
Yeah, you can see that you know that get title. In order to get the title of the page, we'll use this method. These methods was that implemented in the WebDriver. So in WebDriver, they just created a method like this. Okay, so something like this they are created. So what Chrome driver will do means they will implement, okay, get title. So they will write their own logic from their end, Chrome driver, or get URL click, because they're having the different functionality from their end. This is an abstraction. Is it clear?
Yeah, Nitya, Aishwarya, are you clear? Any doubts?
Yes, clear.
Okay, so if it is clear, then I will go back to the overriding. Okay, overriding when will comes, right? So if you use any abstract class, okay, when you're going to implement in another class, at that time you are going to use the overriding method. So we have some we have some interfaces in Selenium. That is the WebDriver one is there. These are the interface and iTest Listener. I think you heard about this iTest Listener.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
They
I
have
have. I know.
prepared
Okay.
all of you.
So this one, okay, this
Most
iTest
of
listeners will comes under the TestNG. Okay. So in this one, what will be there means they are implemented some methods. Okay. Something that suppose if it is pass, what I have to do. If it is fail, what I have to do. If it is skip, if the test case is skip, what I have to do. They have written it separate methods. Okay, we are going to override all those methods in our test cases. Okay, at that time we can once we implement this iTest listener, right? So any of the class at that time, all the unimplemented methods going to add it to the page. Something like to override. So public void test pass. If it is test pass, what you have to do? So we will add some log files, okay? So and so test cases is passed. Suppose if it is failed, okay, what we have to do? So at that time we can capture the screenshot for our reference point of view, something, or and at the same time we will generate a logs. Wait, what are the exception we are getting? So it's something we can do in this way. So this is how we are using the method overriding concept in Selenium. Okay, if it is clear, then I will go for the last one is an encapsulation. So the term encapsulation, it's a, okay, sorry. Okay, so you know the capsule, right? How it will look. So we will have a capsule, right? This it look like this. So if you see the capsule, right? So inside the capsule you can see the medicines, right? So where if user sees, right, they can't see the medicine inside it. Just you can see the capsules. What encapsulation in Java means, we are adding the implementation details to the outside word. It is called as encapsulation. So in order to get these data, we are using the getters and setters. Okay, you know the getters and setters, right? So where we are using in the Selenium means if there is any, suppose we have an Excel, okay, so we are getting fetching the data from the Excel. So we will write a separate class file for the Excel. Okay, we'll write separate class for the Excel, and we will use the Excel sheet in order to read the data. So in this one, if suppose if we get a data, right, so instead of showing to outside word, we are using some getters and setters methods. So that is called an encapsulation. If you go here, right? Okay. So this is a concept. Okay. We are writing the implementation. Okay. We won't give the direct access to the outside word, outside class. Okay. So in order to use, we can use the getters and setters. So actually, this is used only for the variables, not for the methods. Suppose if you go to this example, okay, I will return some example. Suppose, so here name is private. Private is nothing but, okay, we can access within the same class. We can't access outside the class. I want to make something as a private. Okay, either it might be the name or ID. So in this example, I made it as a name, ID, and age are the private. Okay, in order to access these data from the outside class, I used the getters and setters, something like public int get age. Okay, public int get name. So these are the first three are the getters, and last two are the setters. In order to set any value for these things, I'm not directly going to implement this thing here. So I'm using this method to set the variables. Any doubts on this one? Encapsulation. Team, any doubts on this one?
Uh, No. Can you explain this again? That example again?
Okay,
That get
okay.
type.
Suppose, for example, how I can say means, okay, you have a form, okay. So suppose there is a customer form, okay. So in this one, you have to enter the username and sorry, username, first name, last name, and address, all those things, right?
Okay.
So
Yes.
in this, okay. So if you take that example, okay, I don't want to show your name to the outside world, okay. So I will make it as a private, okay. Your name, string, age, all those things, okay. So suppose in order to get these data or these variables to the outside world, outside is what is nothing but another class. So at that time, we will use the get name method. Okay. If you give the get name, right, it will fetch the data from here, private. And here also, suppose if you want to set anything, okay, if you want to change any data from this class, you use the set age, okay. If you give the set age, suppose here, if you see the method, right, int new age is there. So here you can pass the parameters, something like age, set age is something like 28 or 30 based on the parameters or your input.
Okay.
So just in getters and setters, it is applicable only for the variables, not for the methods.
Okay.
So we are adding the implementation details. We don't want to show to the outside world. And one more example, if you see, right, in the page object model, if you remembered, so we will use the page object model, right? So we are writing a separate class file for each and every pages. Okay. So in this one, in that case, we will write a separate web element, right? At a rate of find by web element equals to some, we will identify the X path. Okay. If you go to the next line, right? So we'll write some public, we'll use those methods. How can I can explain means, okay, let me go to the sample example. Uh, Once concepts. Give me a minute. I will show you. Update framework. Okay, we will take this one as an example. Okay. So here we will write it in order to find an element. So at the rate of find by and make it a, so here, so web element is an username. Okay. So we will make this one as a private. Okay. We can, so I don't want to show these details to the outside world. Okay. How what attribute I have taken. Okay. In order to use this one, where I used, so I have to use it in the public method. This is just like a, so you can see, right, these methods are the getters and setters. The above one we can make it as a private. Okay. I don't want to implement these details to the outside class or to the user. So this is my confidential. Okay. So, so we are implementing. You suppose in test cases we are calling this method, not this one, above one. So is it clear, right? How we are going to implement? So we are making these methods as in private. Okay, I don't want to show how I found the X path, what attribute I am using. Okay,
You are making the only the username as a private right now for this step, or
yeah,
not for password.
we can make it.
Okay.
Okay. Suppose once you do the private, right? So once you click on the right click, so whatever the data, we can make it as private, right? We can make it something like source. You can click on source. Here you can see generate getters and setters, right? You can see, right? Once you click on this one, so what are the things if you need the getters and setters, just pass those things and click OK. You can see, right, all methods are got it, get as in public as a getters and setters. So we can set the drivers and we can get the drivers. So this is how the encapsulation works. Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
Nitin, yeah,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
clear.
Yeah, this is how we are using the encapsulation methods. It's in just an getters and setters. We don't want to show to the outside class. Okay, so we want to make it as a private. So in this right, so we can use this encapsulation method concept, not method, concept.
Okay, in the real time, there will be many applications which will be used encapsulation. Suppose there is a life insurance corporation, there is application. Suppose in that application there will be customer related information. Get customer, set customer, get as, set as. For the customer related information, all things will be there. Get address, set address. Okay, so in the form of getters and setters, when application is getting developed, okay, outside the world, means outside the classes, just they can utilize these methods. Now suppose there is a user who is, I don't want to give access for to change the some values, means I will give only get access for that particular people. Okay, I don't want to change the data which is related to customer information. Only few people will have modification rights for the application. So see here, okay, the uh, like security is very high when you use encapsulation with the getters and setters. And suppose there is application as LIC we have seen. Suppose if I want to add some new new functionality to the LIC application, suppose now with the getters and setters, just I can add very easily. Suppose I want to add one more functionality for that same LIC application, that is like uh, suppose revival of policy. Suppose revival of policy, earlier it was a if I don't pay 1 year, the policy will get means it will expire. But now I want to just add for 5 years. It should I should be able to give the customers to revival that LIC policy. Okay, just I can modify the code for that specific method. Or if I want to, like, I can add new functionality very easily with the getters and setters. I don't need to change entire application, I don't need to change entire application functionality. Okay, so the modifications are adding new functionality is very easy with the encapsulation. So we learned here, okay, security is high, and adding the functionality, adding new functionality to the existing application is very easy. Okay, uh, uh, these are the advantages with the encapsulation actually. Okay. Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Nitin, in
Yes.
real time, the interface when will come into the picture?
Interface. Okay. Actually, we won't use much, but when we will comes into the picture means, suppose if you go to the agile methodology, okay, first you are in the sprint one, okay, so we don't know the what sprint two will comes, right? New functionality, right? So
Okay.
what are the new methods will come? So what we'll do here is we'll create an on inheritance class. We'll write all the some methods. Okay. Suppose for the sprint one we got some two new methods. Okay. In sprint three we can have another two methods. So what we will do here in inheritance is we'll create just an abstract class. Okay. Abstract that method. Suppose so we can implement those methods in the another class.
Okay.
Suppose for the sprint, when we'll go for the inheritance in the clear way means we don't know the exact functionality. Okay, we didn't get the exact functionality currently. Okay, so at that time we are implementing which are in our Andy. Okay, suppose today we have a two functions. Okay, so we'll write as method, abstract method in the inheritance. Okay, so tomorrow we'll can have a multiple. Okay, another two will comes. At that times we'll go for the inheritance. So if you
Ah,
don't have the exact information, exact functionality, then we'll go for the inheritance concept. So not sorry,
interface.
sorry,
Oh, fine,
interface.
fine.
Okay
So
then. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, fine. Got it.
Yeah.
these are the
Thank
OOP
you.
concept, and I added one more thing, constructor. It should be helpful for you to understand what is a constructor, what are the characteristics of the constructor. Just go through once, it will be clear idea for you. Okay, so I will share this file with you within
Fine.
minutes.
Yeah. Share in the group. I will merge all of them and I will give to the people.
Okay, Hari.
Anyway,
Thank
they
you.
can download this Oops anyway, and whatever I have documents, I will give everyone.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Nathan. Yeah, I think people. I think at least they got some information about where Oops are applied in Selenium. Hope. If you are still having some queries, yeah, we can discuss whichever topic you have a confusion. Okay. Okay, the main focus areas now from your side, whatever we discussed. Java side, as we know, collection should be very good, exception handling should be very good, string should be very good, and programs which we were daily preparing, that should be very good. And when it comes to Selenium, Cucumber side, we should be very good, Cucumber framework, and we should very good in Cucumber with page object model. Okay, so we are going to prepare these 2 days. One is Jira tool, how it works, because it takes just 2 to 3 hours. If you have already other tool which you know already and you are explaining in interview, that is fine. If you don't know any tool till now, okay, where agile activities will be tracked, that then we need to learn this Jira. Then one more which you are going to tell which you are going to learn is GitHub. Okay, Git and GitHub concepts you are going to prepare in these 2 days. Okay, so I will give you related information about those two tools, so that, because these are for every automation engineer, these tools will be common every day. That will be a one part in our daily activities. So if you are not able to answer single question about those, also it is a problem. Okay, you, if you are very good in Java, if you are very good in others, but if you are not able to answer about Git related commands, where we use daily 3 commands, it's a problem. They can very easily they can understand you are not a real time experienced guy. Okay, maybe you are not working in automation, just you came, you are having manual experience and you kept automation experience and you came for the interview. So Git concept and Jira, this is we are going to learn. Okay. Okay, fine, then that's it for today. If you have any queries, stay in the call, otherwise you can drop.